Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It hasn't been as long this time because we stopped mid-battle. Alright, let's pick it up from the lower creature shooting lightning.
This guy being a
Yes.
bitch.
And what are you doing over there?
Who?
Me?
No, no
I was
Zen.
already there. I
Yeah, I
went
know,
there
but
and
then
tried to.
you're not on the pillar anymore?
No, remember I ran down there to try to kill this guy, and then I missed two attacks that I had an 84% chance of hitting.
Gotcha, that's right.
The chance of that happening is less than 3%.
It fires its beam, hitting Siegfried, the navigator, and Siegfried, the navigator, and the ballistician. So you guys make dexterity saving throws.
Did you mean to say Siegfried or did you mean to say Zen?
Siegfried, Zen, the navigator, and the ballistician. Or the ballistician, I believe, did he get knocked unconscious again or not?
He's unconscious.
Okay.
He's currently unconscious.
He's unconscious. He gets zapped a little. The ballistician also fails and takes 22 damage, being knocked out.
Is he dead?
22?
Oops,
22
I think
is not immediate death for him.
I get a +8, I want to say, so that's 14. I think I just failed.
To what?
To my dexterity saving throws. I'm proficient. And I have a 20 for my dex.
Oh, 5 plus 2, that's 7.
Nope, we're level 5 now. We get a +3 to our proficiency.
I am sorry, you guys are level 5, that's right.
So yeah. Is it a 14 or a 15?
I believe it was 15. Let me double check. DC 15.
I'm going to use absorb elements again.
All right, you absorb elements. It was 22 damage. Siegfried, did you roll?
Yeah, I got a 6, so I'm hit.
Okay. Siegfried, are you conscious?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I have 6 health left.
And we'll say that it misses Halo. All right. Top of the round is the other injured Leviathan.
I say.
It is going to go ahead and yeet itself into the sea. You get an opportunity attack, Zen, as it leaves your radius.
You fucking bitch.
All you have to do is hit it. One time.
Don't.
All you have to do is hit it. That definitely hits it. You don't need to roll for damage, but you can do it if you'd like.
I mean, can I flavor-wise drag it back onto the boat? Like it tries to run and I just stab
it weighs like 1,000 pounds. I'd say you can stop it. It begins to swing its tentacles around and begin to kind of use them to push itself towards the exit of the ship. You stab not Halo. You stab one of your magic swords through the beast's tendril, pinning it to the ship as it flails and writhes angrily. Or not angrily, yes, angrily, but with less energy than it normally would have, as it has lost a significant amount of blood at this point. As its shell against the ship, and you see cracks form in the shell as it's flailing vigorously in death throes.
I say, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Yes, and you see that last tentacle snap off as the creature rolls into the sea, and you see the shell just bobbing.
Falling in the sea. Actually, wait, Shylvie, get the shell.
Fine, I can. Let's say odds it stays on the ship, evens it rolls off. It rolls off.
Fuck.
So it's just bobbing in the sea there. Let me turn it upside down. Yep. So it is a deadzo.
Come on.
All right. Zen, can you move your hunter's mark?
I can only. So it takes a bonus action to move it.
That's weird.
I think so as well.
Can't you? No, isn't it an extra thing that you can move it when a creature dies, or is that? Am I thinking of Hex?
No, that it does do that, but I have to spend a bonus action to do it.
That doesn't make sense, but whatever. Anyways.
Yeah, it's
Oh, if
dumb.
you kill it on your turn, maybe.
No, it's just like if when something dies, I can choose to move it to another thing, but to do that, I have to spend a bonus action.
Yeah, and you only have a bonus action on your turn.
Yeah.
So does that mean that he can spend his bonus action on his next turn to do it, or
Yeah.
does he just lose it?
No. I maintain it as long as I have concentration, which is like
If the target drops to 0 hit points before the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on a subsequent turn to mark a new creature. So at the start of next turn, you can use a bonus action to mark a new creature.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Sorry. So I knew it was the spell lingers on the corpse until you move it. Okay. Noted. So back into the swing of things. Next up in the turn order, keeping it spicy, is Siegfried. You are up. You are grappled and restrained by this creature's tendrils.
So does that mean I can't attack?
No,
You have
definitely attack.
disadvantage.
Right.
Of course, if you use reckless attack, it would be a straight roll.
For one attack, I'm gonna swing 3 times, but for the first attack, I'm gonna reckless attack.
Okay.
So is it plus 8?
That first one hits for sure.
Advantage on melee weapon attack rolls using strength during this turn. So you have advantage on all of them except its straight rolls.
Oh, all right. I'll just swing all 3.
Yeah, so all of them are straight rolls. Just had to check the wording on that because I was pretty sure.
He hits one of them.
AC was, I believe, 14?
14, yeah.
So I hit the first one.
Correct, roll damage!
2d6.
Is Halo up at 4 HP, or did they get knocked down again?
Halo has 7 HP.
Okay.
Plus 7.
Back up.
Shylvie's last little...
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, that's some sexy damage! Minus 19. Damn, good damage. Diggity damn. The creature, and that's 19. Yeah, you slice and dice the creature as it is grabbing at you. And I'll say with 19 damage attacking recklessly, you're like 1 below the threshold. But I'll say, yeah, you chop off its arm and you're no longer restrained.
Alright.
The arm kind of loosens around you. You have to push off some of the toothed suction cups. But you are able to free yourself of the restrained condition. And this creature now has 3 arms remaining. Only 1 left to attack, which is currently holding Halo. Okay.
Knife tentacle.
Yeah.
Knife tickle.
Alright, Zen, you are up.
Zen's going to run over to the stupid thing and attempt to save Halo. He's not gonna move his
attacking the tentacle holding Halo.
Yeah, he's not going to switch his hunter's mark. He's going to choose to attack twice instead.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll to hit. It's plus 9.
If you deal 20 damage in 1 turn, you can Okay, so that's a miss and a hit.
One. So I do 6 damage, and that's D6.
As the tentacle writhes around, and you hear Halo's voice sort of meekly calling out, "This is a bit dangerous, isn't it, huh? But we got this."
I got wait, I'm gonna fucking kill it. Yeah, so I
Damn right
deal
we are.
alright, 12 damage.
You guys with your sixes.
Well, Ed, let's be clear. Last time we
3?
rolled min damage
I
almost
know, I
every
know, I
time.
know.
So
But that is
Destiny.
6, 6, and then 6 for damage die. I am gonna roll a percentile die real quick.
Wait,
Nothing.
so I dealt 12 damage, and now it's Halo's turn,
Halo is up.
and she attacks with disadvantage as well. So
Yeah, unfortunately, as the suckers seem to constantly be like gripping and like clawing at the blade.
I'm gonna roll advantage. So the first one misses. This first attack misses because it's a 13,
Okay.
and the second attack hits.
Nice.
That's
I'm sorry, those both hit.
no. I thought you said the AC was only 14.
It's
I was-
14, yeah, and you rolled a 19 and a 17.
No. The first one I rolled was a
Oh,
23 and a 13.
Okay, my bad, my bad.
Yeah.
Second attack hits.
Yeah.
Roll for damage. Halo begins to vibrate continuously, attempting to get their spinning motion that they're used to doing. Initially, the claws are the clawed suckers are too adhered, and they can't get a good momentum going until they begin to sort of make a sawing motion towards one of the tentacles, and the after image saws behind it, adding some additional pain. It's another 6. Nice.
16 damage. So
16
does-
damage.
Well-
Hell yeah.
Is that
Fucking yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you deal 16 points of damage.
To that same tentacle.
Did I ever deal the 12? I didn't. So let me do that.
Hey, just a quick question. These sea monsters and stuff like that we've seen and
16.
faced, are they aberrations or monstrosities?
They are monstrosities.
Okay.
These ones are monstrosities.
What's the difference between aberration and monstrosity?
Aberrations are influenced from the far plane or from the far plane or from the far realm. Monstrosities are just monsters, like a griffin or like yeah.
So the fish people we've been facing, would they be considered aberrations or monstrosities? I'm asking because then we'll
Deep
eventually
spawn.
get-
Are you looking for deep spawn specifically?
Let's
Because
start
I could
with
tell
them.
you. Just give me a sec. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they're actually humanoids, but let me. Where? Oh, am I stupid?
Weren't they like deep scions or something?
Oh, deep scions. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, yeah, there we go. Thank you. Monster type is humanoid, shape changer.
Gross.
Yep.
I don't accept that as a. Oh, actually, I do call them fish people, so I guess I would consider them humanoids.
Yeah,
but
it's half
still.
the name, people. Anyways, Zen, I believe that is the end of your turn, correct?
Correct.
It is the crew's turn. Everybody is dying. I'm sorry, that wasn't the navigator. That was the gentleman in the crow's nest. He would not have been hit by that. So he does not take that damage that I said earlier. I just forgot who was positioned where. The gentleman with the hand crossbow comes over here and fires at the creature here.
He's a brave one.
They have a plus like 3 or something. That's a miss. Next up is going to be this person who's going to fire down on the one you all are hacking at. Plus 3 to hit. That's a miss. They both miss, and the ballistician is currently...
Conscious.
Yeah, unconscious. Okay, next up in the turn order is... Okay, sorry. What happened? Yep, Zen, Crew, Penta, Mini, it's the second one. So this one here. It only has one combat arm left. So it is going to make a strike at... who's the last one who hit it? Zen?
Halo. Well,
Oh, no, Halo,
me.
yes, but...
me.
It wants something with some meat on its bones. Actually, you know what? It's injured and hungry. It's going to go for the one with the most meat. So it is going to attack Siegfried. Siegfried, you are being attacked.
Wait, Siegfried. Oh, shit.
What's up?
Siegfried's really hurt. No, nothing.
Hmm?
Nothing. Already used it.
Did you say hit him as hard as possible? No, of course. 2d6 plus 3. And that is 7 points of damage, rounded down to
4.
3.
Oh,
4.
okay. So Siegfried's still up.
Barely.
Alright. And it had let go of Halo, by the way, to attack, and has wrapped its tentacle around Siegfried again.
Yo, this thing loves you.
It is going to attempt to move backwards 30 feet.
Oh no.
Attack of opportunity.
Actually, it can only move 20 feet because it is dragging a creature. So it is going to attempt to do so. Siegfried, make a contested athletics check against the creature.
Athletics.
Yeah, athletics. You should be good at this. What's the creature's score? It's plus 3, so let me do that. 1d20 plus 3.
Oh, I'm bad at this apparently.
Oh, but it's worse! It is unable to drag you off of the ship as you sort of stand steady. It does back up, and the tentacle is taut against you, and you're like holding on to the edge of the railing as it's like trying to pull you over the edge.
Is it further than 5 feet away from me?
It is currently down and 5 feet away from you, so it's out of melee range currently.
Oh, then I'm going
actually,
to...
it would have also exited your melee range and Halo's melee range, so both of you can make opportunity attacks.
Alright, cool.
Siegfried's gonna say, I'm starting to really hate fish people.
Yes! We're on the same page, buddy. Alright, first, I'll go first.
Oh, did I say Sieg? I meant Zen.
Of course. Of course I roll shite.
That's a miss.
Well, hey, come on, Halo. You're the
Siegfried, it's currently still on you, so it doesn't really exit your space.
Alright, that makes sense.
Come on. Nice. Good job, Halo.
That's a hit. Alright, Halo, roll damage. I need some payback.
Halo's putting in more work than I am in this fight,
well,
guys.
Halo is also a whirling dervish of death, so you have to consider that.
Who may or may not catch fire this coming round.
Ooh, catching fire. 22 damage.
I'm not gonna blow a second level concentration spell.
So, I gotta ask: is Halo trying to sever another tendril? Or would it just be going for a body blow?
Halo would be trying to save Siegfried.
So it does so with great levity. The creature is not dead and therefore is able to continue moving. However, that's a lot of damage. I have to do some math.
Don't let it run, Shylvie. It attacked us. It must
it
die.
is severely injured by that blow as more blood just fucking shoots onto the three of you. It's fucking everywhere. You guys are gonna have to get rid of all the blood on this ship with buckets after this is done. Or probably the menial labor crew will do so. But yeah, that creature currently has 2 tentacles left. It's 2 kind of, large, kind of slightly flatter, thicker tentacles that it uses for movement. And it is in the water, and it is gonna move... It is no longer grappling a creature, so it is gonna move 20 feet away. And it is attempting to flee.
Don't let it run, Shylvie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up in the turn order. Shylvie.
Yeah. Shylvie will move past past it so that
you have a
Shylvie
shit
will-
ton of swim speed, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
60, man.
I can't. I'm doing this on mobile, so there's like an issue with
Give
stuff.
me just a minute.
Did
Just
I
tell
ping
Ed
the
to move.
location properly?
I don't see it.
Give me a
ping.
minute. It's probably not gonna ping.
There we go.
So you're gonna try to go like
Yeah.
right here, right?
Did it work?
No, that's
No,
me.
right there. No, it's like
A little
right
further
there.
down. A little
Yeah.
further, like so.
Because
Right
I've
here.
got Eldritch
Oh,
Blast.
it
I
said
can
right
shoot
here.
it. If I'm going to hunt something down, I'm going to kite them.
Okay, you have a swimming speed of 60 feet.
Yeah. That's 20 feet. 30, 60. That's a 60-foot range.
Sorry,
Can you
I was reiterating what I was saying in order to
Oh, let me. Oh, maybe I can't
emphasize.
see what.
So yeah,
Shylvie's-
this cloak upon you allows you to gain great momentum. Where do you want to be here? Oh, can you see it by the way?
Shoot, I have a. Oh, I think that I actually have hide ping on or something like that. But
Can you see my arrow that I'm using?
Perpendicular to the bow. I'm trying to ping.
So, yeah.
It's
Okay,
not
so do you
working.
want it to be
I
here?
think he's staying right here.
Yeah, there. Exactly.
Okay,
there.
you are like about.
He said he's
You're
pinging
about
over
8
here. Ed.
squares
He's pinging
down.
over
I
here.
see it. He's about 8
Yeah.
squares down. So you can't see my arrow?
Yeah. Oh, I can see it.
Okay, so that's where you're pinging.
Yeah, that's where I'm pinging.
Yeah, like this area. Is this where you want to
Yeah.
be, or is it this where you want to be?
The first option. is
Oh,
where I
all the
wanna
way
be.
down here? Like away from the
Yeah.
creature?
Yeah, I have Eldritch Blast.
Oh,
and they're
I'm
moving
sorry,
directly
duh.
away.
Silly me.
Magic.
Okay, cool. So, and yeah, it's not affected by being underwater, I don't think, because it's magic.
It's magic, and I am a spellcaster who is an aquatic creature.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, you shouldn't have disadvantage at all. When making a melee weapon attack, if it doesn't have a swim speed. Okay, so yeah, having a swim speed, ranged weapon attacks automatically, and again, that's weapon attacks, not spell attacks.
Yep. All right, I got a 10 and a 20 and a 20 something.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's say I need to open up back to roll 20. That's a miss and a very much hit. So roll your d10 of damage, my friend. As you Eldritch Blast this
5.
creature. 5 force damage to the fleeing, whatchamacallit. How do you want to do this? You've killed it.
Shylvie flies around it, and as she moves laterally against it, she fires
A
off a
streak
single
through
burst.
the water, Shylvie is. As they
Streak
reposition.
through the water, leaving behind a trail of algae behind it.
Yeah.
And after it hits, the wound seems to have been slightly encrusted with it.
As this algae sort of begins to encrust the blast into the gelatinous cephalopodish, softer body of the creature near the base, near where the neck stalk is connected, holding the eyes and the beak. And you see the blast go into the creature's central body, and from the beak, just gouts of blood and what seems to be this greenish algae shoot out as the creature just waves of this algae and blood as it slowly begins to drift in the water for a moment.
I'd feel bad for it
You
if I
notice
didn't
these
hate
creatures
them.
are floating for now, but the one that died before looks like might start to sink relatively soon. Alright, next up in the turn order is the less harmed Leviathan creature that is on the ship. It just noticed that most of its pod has been killed, and it is going to go ahead and attempt to grab the 2 closest things to it, which are
Oh no!
Sebastian's below deck. It is going to get up against... How tall would the mast of a ship be, guys?
It would probably be like 30, 40 feet up
That
minimum.
sounds about right. So I'm just going to say It's gonna move
pick up the
forward and grab
unconscious
the
guy?
It's gonna attempt to grab the navigator and the unconscious. The navigator and the It does.
Poor man.
You see the ballistician. It grabs him, and you just hear this sickening crunch.
Oh, he's dead.
As it grabs his limp body. +3 is 10, so the other one is actually awake and conscious. As it used 5 feet of movement, and it is going to use, so that's 25, half, 10. It uses 10 feet of movement. Wait, that doesn't. There we go. 10 feet of movement to get off the ship.
Contested strength.
And it's going
the man
to
a
pull
chance.
them adjacent with it. The creature, the guy, the other one doesn't have. Ignore the last one. The creature is able to pull them, no problem. And it is. The body of the dude is pressed up against the edge of the ship and kind of being waved in the air, while the other guy is sort of, again, same as Siegfried, just pushed up against the railing and is barely holding onto the edge as the creature's pulling his body down towards the sea.
Siegfried, we need to get on the ballista quick.
As a reminder, that ballista is fucked.
Yeah.
You said it had one shot left in it.
It literally has one shot left, and then it's going to explode. There is a ballista over by Halo that is not as damaged.
Okay, I'll go to the one that's about to explode. Siegfried, you go to the other one.
All right, next up in the turn order is
just
top of the
throw a
round.
javelin.
The upper body sort of just floats and is beginning to slowly kind of like bob in the waves of the sea and sort of beginning to slowly sink. It seems like you've got probably a minute or two before that body becomes inaccessible to anybody who can't swim. Okay, next up in the turn order is Siegfried. Siegfried, you're up.
Wait, can we reach it with melee attacks?
Reach what?
It
It has 2 tentacles that are still on the ship, so you can attack the 2 while it has the 2 tentacles on the ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it might be better for you to just wail on it than for you to get on the ballista. My mistake.
I'd say you could probably still attack the creature if you were in this space. Oh wait, no, you couldn't. Or yeah, you could.
One of those bodies
You could go
is
over
large.
here
Isn't
and
this guy
over
dead?
here. Sorry?
Isn't that guy like crushed on the
yeah.
floor?
Yeah, his body. Excuse me. His body is in such a way that it is very clear that his bones are not where they're supposed to be.
Oh.
Unfortunately, that was our ballistician.
Oh.
All right, talk to me,
Does this thing
Siegfried.
look
What's the
bloody?
deal?
So can I? Does a javelin? Does the extra attack count towards javelins?
Yep.
If you have...
How many do you have?
Javelins. I have exactly 2 left.
Well, there you go, buddy. So you want to throw it down at the body of this creature, or do you want to try to chop these guys out, or what do you want to do?
I'm gonna try hitting this one.
That one's
It's
dead.
dead. I apologize for. Okay, my bad. That was all me. That was my fault. Okay, there we go. That's better. This is the only threat currently present.
And I can't
Shylvie, you're
get
pinging
close to what you
all
said
over the
because
fucking
of
ocean.
these bodies.
Sorry?
I can't get within melee range because of these bodies.
No, I'm saying that if you can attack the bodies, you can attack the tentacles. So if you were to go here, you could attack. All right?
Okay, I'll just attack. I'll swing 3 times. Then.
I will say, would you like to attack this one with the guy who's dead, or would you like to attack the tentacle, which is closer, or would you like to go around and attack the tentacle that is holding the one who still is like holding his hand crossbow in one hand and actively fighting against it?
I'll just attack the dead one or the guy with the dead.
All right, sounds good. So you go for the closer attack. Go ahead, roll to hit.
Ooh, he got a nat 20.
Yeah. Is this reckless? Or no.
No, he can attack
it's
3
not.
times.
Yes, you attack 3 times. That is a miss, a hit, and a natural 20. So I need you to roll. Okay, so it's 6d. What is it? 6d6
Plus 14.
plus 14.
All right.
Okay. As the greatsword fucking arcs down onto this tendril, fucking lops it off immediately and nicks the other tendril, cutting halfway through it. Fucking yeah. Damn. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you lop off a tentacle. Let's write that in. You lop off a tentacle and just fucking yeah, man. And the other one is injured.
Lop off a tentacle and the other one's injured.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and the creature lets out a shriek of pain. And the tentacle just kind of flails wildly on the deck of the ship.
All right.
Alright, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Big numbers! Love to see it! Damn, man. All you guys needed was to rest on this battle, and you fucking came in swinging.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Finally got some luck.
Indeed.
Except
That
for me.
was Siegfried. Zen, you are up. Zen.
I'm gonna use my free action to pick up my bow and like put it away,
You do so.
and then I'm gonna rush. Oh, wrong.
You gonna Huntress Mark him with a bonus action or not?
No, I'm just
Okay.
going to try to save this dude.
Okay.
Oh, Halo.
Would you like to...
I'm gonna make 2 attacks. I'm gonna try to. So
You
I'm
only
gonna,
have to get a You only have to get a 15 to break this tentacle. 15 damage to break this tentacle.
Okay. D20.
Actually, that was a natural 20 on his last hit. I'd say you only have to get 10 damage to break the tentacle.
All right. So
Cut the
I'm gonna-
needed amount in half.
Of course.
That's
Well,
a miss, unfortunately, my friend.
That's fine. And I'm gonna roll to hit again. Nat 20.
Hey, Lamau! Alright, roll your damage! What was that?
Sorry. The regular show intro. No, it wasn't. It was just me making a fart noise with my mouth.
Nice. Quality work.
Boom.
Hell yeah, 14. You lop off that other tentacle, no fucking problem.
Is it still alive?
Well, let me do some math here. Yes, it is severely injured but still alive.
Halo, murder.
And Halo just flies down into the sea like a meteor from the sky down onto this creature, attempting to just go straight through it. Like center mass through the shell, 2 hits,
Halo.
roll damage.
Halo hits with
Show me
bow.
those dice. Show me those sexy dice. It is very dead. How does Halo finish off the final beast?
She is going to dive just. Oh, actually. So these things. She's going to slash like down where the face is and like just lop the face off.
Okay, she lops off the pseudopod that holds the beak and the eyes. As that flails into the sea, it lets off like a little like dying shriek that is immediately quashed by the waves that gently suck it down below the waters. The face tendril that you cut off still wriggles down into the dark depths as it slowly loses life. The body goes limp. And the tentacles the segments of tentacle that aren't really tentacles anymore that were left attached to the ship slowly lose traction as it sort of begins to free float adjacent to the ship. The navigator breaks away and immediately rushes to go get the rest of the crew.
Before he goes down, I toss him my bag of good berries that has 30 as always.
Okay. you toss him the bag of good berries, and he just fucking he looks around and says, "Anybody else need some?" As he downs 5.
Just do it until you feel all right, until you feel up and at 'em. We got to
All
collect
right.
these corpses before they're too far gone. But work's not done yet, boys. Work's not done yet.
All right, and I will say, for the sake of expediency, my beloved friends, how do we go about harvesting these creatures? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tentacles on the ship. About 10-foot segments of tentacle on the ship. So you have like 60 feet of tentacle.
Does Zen see any value in these things?
The toothy sort of barbs, that make up the suction cups of the tentacles, might be useful for some sort of maybe spiked gauntlet, or like maybe a decorative sort of like set of pauldrons, perhaps. There's not really a lot of bony material to work with here. You do notice that the skin of the creatures, the sort of orangish with white stripes sort of texture of their skin appears to be about 1.5 to 2 inches thick and kind of rubbery. You get the feeling it probably doesn't absorb electricity super well, is not very conductive. So you do have, if you were to skin the tentacles, let's say, and even the bodies, probably you could probably get Shylvie to help with collecting some of that. I'd argue you have, let's say, given the 3 beasts, how does... make a survival check for me, and Shylvie, will you be assisting with carving anything from the beasts in the water?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Shylvie will assist, so either Shylvie and you could roll, or we could give one of you advantage. What is the preference?
Shylvie, are you good at survival?
No, but I am good at swimming.
Okay, so Shylvie is gonna help bring you up segments that you lop off.
Well, I'm planning on taking the entire things onto the ship. All of it.
Okay, yep, How... Okay, so Shylvie, you work with the crew, who... How many people did I say you had? 5? Or like 10 total crew? Anyways, you have 9 total crew, let's say, left.
There should be harpoon guns, right? We can sink them into the things and pull them up.
Yes,
or...
there is 1 harpoon each, but you feel like this ballista in particular probably wouldn't be too useful for that. It needs to get
mending work for that?
Yes.
Yeah. Can Siegfried loot this guy?
Really, dude?
Yes, he has 15 gold on him, and a locket that contains a picture of what appears to probably be his wife or something.
So more money.
Yeah, probably worth about like 5 gold itself.
All right.
I walk over to one of the sailors and say, give this to that man's family. And I give them, how much gold do I have? I give them 20 gold. And we'll work with the Saltmires to get more.
Some of the crew here kind of nod. Many of these folks are either older or are less experienced in the art of combat, perhaps. So they all kind of nod, and one of the older crew sort of takes the gold and mentions for you. Oh, we knew what we're getting into with this line of work, fighters especially. Saltmires have been good to us, and I'm sure this will help. Thank you.
Yeah.
Siegfried's gonna motion to one of them, point at the dead body, and then point at the ocean.
How do you guys typically do this?
We'll take the body home with us, or perhaps
store it in a safe space. Just try to make sure that it's deodorized so it doesn't cause any
Yeah,
problems with
about
illness
that.
and things like that.
You see a couple of them kind of look around at each other, kind of like grimacing, and they all kind of, some of them scratching their beards. And the older one speaks up again. He says, perhaps not a burial at sea, but we shouldn't be more than half a day out of our destination. We'll bury him in the on the shore.
Just make sure to gather any of his personal belongings, and
Of
so we can
course.
give them something to his family. All right, now
and
we need.
you all do so. He didn't have a ton of stuff on him for this particularly perilous trip. He knew what he was getting into. But yeah, so you all collect your things. Captain Sydney,
Sebastian.
Sebastian, I'm sorry, I keep going to Sydney because it's the only other captain that's left alive besides Captain Sydney that I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh, I should roll that survival thing, shouldn't I?
Yeah, I did mention that and then immediately forgot about it. Sorry.
Oh, so I'm gonna do it with advantage.
With advantage, because Shylvie is helping you.
So 21.
21, near perfect. You're able to get 100 square feet of
I want their lightning sacks too. That's Zen is specifically like these things produce electricity.
And I'm gonna say with a 21, you are able to harvest. I'm just going to write in the chat. So 100 square feet of 1.5 inch thick, non-conductive pentapedal mini-lev skin. And 3... one of the lightning sacks, unfortunately, due to the way you killed the creature, was damaged, and that is the one that Halo killed, unfortunately. But you get two perfect lightning sacks. And these are pretty big. They're not a single organ so much as they are a kind of network that goes along the necks of the creatures. It's sort of like you go in expecting an organ, and what you find is like sort of a long, like almost a web-like organ. You're still able to harvest it, but it takes a while to sort of cut it out. It's almost like a railgun made like that looks in kind of a web shape. If I was to describe the mechanics of how it looks like it works, it appeared to generate the electricity within its throat cavity and then launch it forward in a beam, or a ball that shot straight forward in a beam.
All right. Siegfried's gonna take over the leftover meat and feed to the salamander and crab.
That's a lot. There's a lot of meat.
There
is so much meat left over from
We're
this
gonna keep the shells
process.
under the ship.
Shells are about 600 pounds each.
I see.
So, and about
Siegfried got
15 feet wide, so, or
Can
like
they
10 feet, 15 feet wide, and like 10 feet high, so like...
Can they fit?
I mean...
Can they fit in the thing to get below deck?
The crew is... You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say, especially with the survival check you made, everybody make an athletics check for me. And I'm gonna say if the average is above a 15, this is zero problem, and I'm not gonna have any restrictions at all.
Athletics. Oh, I got a +4 for that. Who would have thunk? +4. Big money, no whammy. Ah, son of a... Wait, he said average. All right, Siegfried. Bringing the average up. Nice. We did it.
That's 2 d20s. Shylvie, did you have advantage, or...?
Oh, shoot. I
Fuck.
rolled it by accident. That would be a...
So that's a 2.
Yeah.
And then the crew helps as well.
So
yeah,
they
you
got,
do it.
They
Yep.
got 10 on average.
So you're able to. Wow, did you just do that off the top of your head?
It's 5 divided by. It's 50 divided by 5.
Oh, I'm a dummy. So then, yes, let's just say that you're able to do it, no problem.
All right. I
Um,
mean, the
you're-
Saltmeyers wanted trophies.
You are able to collect. Okay, so like they're as big as the creature. So you okay? So here's what you do. You move a couple of the. So it takes a while to figure out how it's gonna work, like as far as the ship not tipping.
I mean, we can cut them in half, and then I could just mend them back together. I mean, we could shatter them, and I can mend them back together.
Not the shells. The shells are bigger than a 5-foot cube.
But isn't it just like I could do segments at a time?
That's not how mending really works.
Damn.
Also, it's biological matter.
It's
which
also
would require
biological.
a cure
Well,
spell,
when it's
most
dead, it's an
likely.
object, technically.
Yeah.
But that's a whole fucking can of worms. It really, yeah, mending doesn't really apply here, unfortunately.
Damn, but
Either way, being pentapedal creatures, I would say that being 5-pointed creatures, my recommendation would be to cut them into like triangle pieces so that all 5 of the points are in their own separate thing.
but we want them all
I'd say
together.
you are able to keep one, 2, and then if you chop up one, you can store it in the hull. I'd say you can keep 2 on the deck. Of course, but then you do have them on the deck, but they are completely intact. And one of them is sort of blocking off one of the ballista in the front, but it could be rolled out of the way with a combined strength check from at least 3 people with no issue. 3 people, no issue. 2 people with checks. And then the last one, you can take time to chop into segments. The shell is not as hard as you would expect it to be. Which is a little strange, honestly. It's thinner than you expected, almost as if the creature didn't use the shell particularly for defensive purposes nearly as much as
Holding its guts.
Yeah, as much as holding its primary organs and its sort of weaker organs, such as its heart and stuff. So yeah, you are able to. So, I'm just gonna say 2.
How about I? So, would the crew know how much the Saltmeyers would want in regards to trophies?
The more, the better.
I mean, we would ask the captain for that, but he's not here.
No, I'm not asking him anything.
Captain Sydney.
He wasn't involved.
You hear from the storeroom
Sebastian.
below the ship. Shout out! I'm working on something. Give me a bit.
I'm gonna look at all the sailors and be like, if anyone asks, he didn't participate. You hear me?
And they all kind of look at each other and just kind of nod and kind of sigh. The older one speaks up like, he's new blood. Probably a veteran on the sea, we could tell, but he's got something going on. We're not quite sure what, though. We don't really trust him.
We don't need to trust him. We just need to do what we can with or without him.
Saltmeyer put him in charge. Just listen to Ultimus in this regard. Better not to get on his bad side.
We've seen what happens when we get on his bad side.
And he kind of like raises an eyebrow and kind of like squints at you like, oh, and you're still living to tell the tale.
He tries to read your mind.
Good on you then. And he kind of like nods and kind of looks at the others like, yeah, that sounds about right. And like the others kind of seem like, I could imagine it, yeah. Scary man, that Ultimus, but he has coin like no other. He has coin and he has resources.
Would they?
And the Saltmeyers themselves definitely have a strong historical and current influence on Arcanautus itself. It's good working for them. It really is.
Would the Saltmires be able to put these things back together if we chop them up into segments, so they won't be
Perhaps.
so they won't be in the way?
Honestly, if we get into a scuff and you need one of the ballista, I could have some of the crew rush up and help move them. You just shout the word, let's say, if you just shout, move the shell, a couple folks will head up and they'll get it right out of your way.
Alright, well, if it's not too big a deal.
Keep what you got intact. They like the big trophies. They could, display them or parade them through town or make a children's playground out of them, that sort of thing. Ultimus is a little, fucked in the head, but he does appreciate a good trophy.
Alright, well, okay.
We chopped up the one. That'll be fine. We're gonna keep that in the storage and keep the 2 up top.
Alright, good job.
The multiplier salamander, as you are having this conversation, has been gorging itself. The skin is safely stored. By the way, the skin is very difficult to...
I have a bag of holding.
It is... Okay, so yes, you are able to eventually get... I guess... What is the quantity of space in a bag of holding? Because 100-foot sheet that's an 1.5 inches thick... Like, that's a lot of skin. Wait, it's also... To be fair,
says,
it's also in segments.
It says up to 500 pounds and cannot exceed a volume of 64 cubic feet.
So, cubic feet, we got square feet, 100 square feet, 1 inch thick.
I'm not going to do this math. I'm going to say because it's into segments, it all fits, and you have one roll that you carry on your back. How's that sound? You have like a 30-pound roll of it that you carry on your back. All the rest is in the bag of holding, eh?
Sure. I'm definitely going to put the sacks in the bag of holding, too.
Yes, the sacks are able to fit in the bag of holding, no problem. Okay,
But,
again, they're not sacks. Lightning networks is what the organ is called.
I'm pretty sure
they're stringy. They're you know how when you see images of like neurons and stuff all connected and stuff? It's like that, and it has like a central larger segment that when you pulled it out, sort of like I said, it's like a spider web of organ. It's like a sheet, essentially.
I'm pretty sure the artificer will go nuts if he sees this thing.
Yeah, that might actually be a good point. Alright, so yeah, you were able to harvest these creatures, 0 issue. Shylvie, as you swim back to the ship, go ahead and make a perception check for me. As you are swimming over this segment of the ocean. You're a couple 100 feet out from shore. Why do you keep rolling 2 at once?
Because I accidentally forget to click off of it.
Okay. Okay. So 15.
Okay, that's even worse.
Just a 2 again. But that's okay. Let's say, how about the 14, because that's the one you intended, right?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, let's just go with that. So 15. 15. You suddenly feel in your head something vibrate. Not a sharp vibration, but a deep thrum just for a moment. And your eyes sort of drift to the north, south, east, west. To the southwest. Not towards the... or I guess from this perspective, the Eye of Caesar is directly to your east. This is to the southeast, in the direction of what you believe, based on the maps you've seen and what people say is the Subsea Kingdom. And you feel like a thrum. And then... How long do you stay in the water for?
Shylvie
do you
is
wait?
going...
Are you going to get out of the water, or are you going to wait to see any results of what's happening?
Shylvie is going to go underwater and try to see if she can look in that direction.
Okay, go ahead and make another perception check for me.
Actually, specifically, Shylvie puts her hand to the top of the water and
Ha!
and
Mouth.
puts her mouth there and says, "I just heard something coming from the subsea kingdom. I am now worried. I think I'm going to go swim to check it out. Are you guys okay with this?"
Shylvie,
That
I
sounds-
want to reiterate that the noise almost came from within your head, and it gave you the impression of that direction. It was not a vibration in the water, it was a vibration within you. But you did feel it come from that direction, yes. Within your head, specifically.
If he still says that out loud, Zen's gonna be like, "That sounds reckless and dumb."
Fair. All right.
As you're having this conversation,
Well-
about a minute passes, and you feel the thrum once again, slightly more distant, slightly less distinct this time.
If you go underwater, we can't help you. And
All
then
right. Very well. All right. Well, just please stay here. I think that something is happening.
I mean, we're supposed to hear back from Kay when we come back anyway.
As a note, Shylvie, the subsea kingdom is on the other side of the southern island. You are currently on the northern island, and it is about several hundred miles to the subsea kingdom from here.
So it could be anything in that direction.
It's a pretty specific direction, but also
It's
it
dummy
would be a
far.
long trip. Actually, I mean, not as long, going 60 feet, 120 feet around, but still not a super great. It would take days still.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and we're on a time limit.
Yeah.
All right.
And once again,
I am going to need to take. Shylvie takes a mental note that she is going to need to take a trip there at some point.
we're probably gonna take a trip there very soon.
Very soon.
Very, very fair. All right. I'll put that out of my mind for now.
Okay.
But
As you put it out of your mind, you another minute passes. You feel a gentle hoo-dum. But besides that, nothing in particular. Shylvie, make a medicine or religion check for me. You have two choices. Tell me what you would like to roll with. Medicine or religion.
I will roll with medicine.
Roll.
All right.
Once if possible. I will take whatever appears.
Yep.
I will take whatever roll appears first as the roll.
7.
Okay. And you said
I rolled with medicine.
medicine?
Medicine. Yeah.
Sounds like something from inside something. You're not sure what.
Oh no.
The shifting of something, or maybe a heartbeat. You're not sure. It's a little ambiguous. Like, you can't pinpoint specifically what exactly is making the noise or what the sound could be equated to.
The
You think
something-
Alright.
maybe a
That's some
heartbeat,
bad
you're
Taco
not
Bell.
sure. Maybe a pulse of some kind.
All right.
You're not exactly
Shylvie is going to try to figure out that feeling. Shylvie is going to wait another minute to see if another shockwave of a similar kind is like, and try to focus on being able to recreate it.
Gotcha.
In her
Shylvie,
body.
I will say, for as long as
Yeah.
you stay in the water, you are always, every minute, at this distance, able to very faintly... You noticed it particularly powerfully the one instance that I told you to roll that perception, and now, because you know it's there, you can feel it every single minute. You do not feel this when you are farther in the water from the subsea kingdom from like where you were. You were on the northwestern edges of this island as opposed to the southeastern inner edge near the
Alright.
Eye of Caesar. You're several miles closer to the
Yeah.
subsea kingdom than you were before. And you
Yeah.
do just faintly notice this And I will say, if you take time to do this, I will say you are able to determine that it feels like a heartbeat of some sort. A very deep, slow heartbeat. Just boom, boom, every minute. And it's very faint, very, very faint from this distance, but whenever you are in the water, you can feel it.
Yep.
All right.
Alright,
Everybody else
get me
gets
up out of this
themselves...
water.
Sorry?
Shylvie calls down for a rope to get back up.
All right.
Can't you just slink on?
They toss a rope back down, and you are able to slink up the rope, no problem. All right, let me write down a couple different things here. I accidentally didn't have my notes document up, so now I have to just copy and paste a couple things. What's today's date? The 25th?
Yep.
So yeah, feel free to discuss amongst yourselves for just a minute. A couple of the crew are, as the day goes on, eventually it reaches night. Your destination, you will arrive in the morning. As you're all about to kind of bed down for the night in your various sort of almost camping-esque sleeping arrangements on the ship that you've arranged. Sebastian has the captain's quarters, and everybody else sort of makes their accommodations. Yeah, so you all kind of hang out with the crew. They all have a pint for their fallen comrade that night. They share a couple stories about the guy, about, oh yeah, he had a young wife back home, poor thing. They didn't have any kids or anything yet, but he had a fire in his heart, he did. It's a shame, a real shame, but that's what the ocean gives, the ocean takes. And when there's sea monsters involved, there's a lot more taken than given. And then they go into a series of stories, and eventually it devolves into drunken sea shanties. Shylvie provides some lovely accompaniment. And if you all would like to discuss anything amongst yourselves or in private, feel free to do so now. I'm going to write down some notes. Give me a minute.
Zen's going to ask to borrow Shylvie's amulet of health. He's come to realize that in this fight he was cutting it way too close with his current health, and he'd like to ask you to in exchange wield the stone that he thinks has an earth elemental in it, or I guess he knows it has an earth elemental in it, and says whenever we get to the island, this thing is related to elementals. It could help us out, and for all intents and purposes, you're probably better to have it anyway. You're probably able to relate to this elementalist more than we can, and honestly, I just need the support myself. I'm too weak, and it's killing me to say it.
Oh, buddy.
Zen?
That was Shylvie, actually. He was requesting a trade of items.
Shylvie tilts her head. Looks at him for a little bit. And says, I never expected you to admit your weaknesses. And... alright, here you are. And while we're in the act of... while we're in the mood of sharing our weaknesses and accepting those parts of ourselves, I'm sorry for my recklessness and arrogance.
Well,
all right.
You got a good heart. I can feel that. And to be honest, I should have seen it coming, given
She tilts her head again and says, "I don't have a heart at all. What are you talking about?"
You are a good person. You are a person, right? You do.
Humanoid.
Yes.
You're a good
I
person.
carry human form.
Ha 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 ha. But yeah, I know you mean well. We got different interests, and so does that Saltmeyer fellow. But the way I see it, clashing with crazy people like that is only gonna have him do the opposite of what we want. What we really need to do is make him think that we're doing exactly what he wants, and have him think that it's his idea to do the things we do to get the things that we want.
Siegfried looks up at this moment. He's like, "Wait a minute."
You all are kind of below decks, kind of meeting together and getting in your area before you sleep. The multiplier salamander is still above deck feasting. You forgot about it until now. The sun is down now.
He's still eating.
Wait a minute. Where'd my salamander go?
You hear the boards creak above you.
Oh no.
Can it swim? Can that thing swim? It is a salamander.
Probably not in salt water, given
Maybe it's kind of
the fact that
it's kind of magical.
That definitely could be a situation.
It also might
Siegfried.
possibly change and transform. Who knows?
Siegfried, you might want to check on your dog.
They
check on your
They
salamander
usually don't
dog.
let them get too big.
All right, Siegfried's gonna go check on the salamander.
There is a horse-sized salamander currently finishing up the tentacle meat. You see it slurp up the last bit of one of the 10-foot long segments of meat.
Where's
It
the
is
crab?
the size of a horse now. It is about it's about 1,000 pounds now of just
Where-
fucking mass.
Did it eat the crab or any of
No,
Or
the
it's like
sailors?
1,000's a bit much. It's about 600 pounds of. No, salamanders are thick as hell. Yeah,
thick.
yeah, no, it's 800 pounds. Let's say the salamander is now 800 pounds, and it is a large creature. Skipped
Alright,
the
stick with-
medium, just straight up skipped medium.
Siegfried's gonna walk downstairs again with a huge smile on his face.
We're all gonna die.
Everybody, go ahead. I'd have you roll
How
wisdom
big is
saves,
it?
but nah, it's just scary. That seeing him walk down with that after checking on the salamander is just scary.
Siegfried, just how big is it now?
He points his head towards it like, "Go check."
Shylvie walks over to the drawbridge and extends one of her eyes into like the tip of her finger and just barely looks over the top.
You see the horse-sized, obviously a horse, but like imagine a horse, but really short legs, and a big thick tail, and a nice wide spade-shaped head, and this kind of like grayish, bumpy skin,
Now I
blackish,
ask
grayish,
again,
bumpy
did
skin.
it eat the crab?
The crab's on my shoulder.
The crab is on Siegfried's shoulder.
I see.
It enjoyed a bit of a meal too, but it is also not a It is not also not a magical growing creature. Yeah,
tell all
Shylvie,
the
you
sailors
see
to stay
the
as far away
horse-sized
as possible.
800-pound salamander on the deck of the ship.
Stay away. That thing's gonna eat him. Stay.
Siegfried?
You
if
look
we
up
cannot...
actually. You
No.
look up and you see the person who was up or the night shift person who was keeping watch, and the navigator just sweating profusely and kind of eyeballing the now very large lizard that is on the deck.
Siegfried, if this thing gets any bigger, we're taking it to Zia, and you no longer have salamander privileges, alright?
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
Siegfried takes out his sword and
Yeah.
he's like, "Say that again."
He actually says this.
Yeah. He's enraged right now. Say that
The
again.
drawing of blades stirs some of the crew members as they all kind of rustle about, and some of them kind of open their eyes slightly and look towards the
Shylvie,
ruckus.
don't say the S word. You should know this by now. No, that's fine, Sig. It's just that we should be careful how much it eats because we might not be able to take
I
it
want
back.
him to say it again.
I see. Shylvie, I'm gonna be real with you. You need to back the fuck down. you need take it back, Shylvie. This guy's a fucking maniac.
Fair enough. Fair enough, Siegfried. Fair enough.
Also, I don't think Sia would take it back anyway.
I don't
To
think
be
she
real.
could. This thing might not fit through her door in a couple more
Yeah.
meals.
But yeah, so Sig, you might want to hold off on the big meals for this thing at least until we get back.
I
'cause
need
we
an
might not be able
icon
to-
for the salamander now, as it does
We
take
might-
up a space now.
Goddamn, we might not be able to fit it on the boat if it gets much bigger than
Could
it is
you
now.
imagine just having to leave it somewhere because it got too big, and then just coming back to visit it every so often?
And
This is just growing each time I come
the
back.
sigil on its forehead still does glow faintly as it continues to consume.
so yeah, you need to let's hold off on the big meals until we get back home. Once we get back, we get paid. We can do a big feast for Jormungandr.
There is no meat left from the leviathans, as a side note.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
It is sleeping in one of the shells.
Oh, it has. There it is. It got a new bed. See, the skull wouldn't fit it anymore. It's too big now, so it's
Right.
sleeping in one of those.
So as he's still enraged, he's gonna be like, when we get back, hire you to make a saddle and bridle for it.
Oh, sure, I can do that.
Yeah, Zen can just do that. It would be considered an exotic saddle,
Yeah, it'd be.
cost-wise.
It's gonna cost a bunch, but I mean, I know you're good for it when it comes to the salamander. So no worries.
Alright. Player character stuff.
I do wish that he had left a little bit of that. I haven't had food that I would have been able to have in my if everything hadn't gone sideways for my
There's
life.
probably fish everywhere.
Fair
can
enough.
swim faster than the- You can
Sea
swim
monster.
faster than the fish.
You might be able to find some scraps somewhere.
You're
Perhaps.
gonna slurp around.
Maybe in one of the shells that it's not in.
All right, sounds good.
Are you going to do
Shylvie's
so?
gonna pick around in one of the other shells.
Cool. As you approach the other shells, you hear a loud come from the shell that is currently occupied.
Occupado, homie, back off. This is mine.
Do you proceed, Shylvie?
Wait, so something's in the other shell too?
No, it's the salamander,
Yeah.
and she's
Oh,
walking past it to get to the other shell.
Oh goddamn, Siegfried.
Here,
Can you-
I'll place you. It's like you're like here.
Siegfried, can you push that shell and switch it with the one that we have over there, so that it won't?
It is a 600-pound shell with an 800-pound salamander in it.
How strong do you think I am?
You got big muscles. Okay, tell it to go into the other shell then.
You can do that.
It already chose.
It's in the wet Siegfried. Come on, man.
She's a slime person. Just slime over there.
No, I don't care about that. I care about later.
Oop. Hold up. What is this creature's intelligence score?
Probably like a 2.
One sec. It's not high.
I know it's not high.
Most beasts are 2, if not highest would be 3. For
It is now considered, statistically speaking, a giant lizard with a 16 constitution. So its stat block is giant lizard. Yeah, that's 2 intelligence.
All right.
One sec. Let me put that in my notes too. Multiplier
Yep.
salamander. Or I
Then
could
I
just call
can't-
him Jormungandr.
Then I can actually get my message across. I cast sending on it and tell it, I mean you no harm. Don't bother me and I don't bother you.
With sending?
Yes, as a matter of fact, any creature higher than within 1 can understand sending.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a. It's not just the fact that it's email. It's
The
the fact
creature
that
hears the message in its
anything
mind,
can understand.
recognizes you as the sender if it knows you, and can answer in spell enables creatures with intelligence score of at least 1 to understand the meaning of your message. Oh shit!
Yeah,
It's
Tell it to
literally
go
third
into the
level.
other shell?
Wow.
Can you tell it to
yeah.
go into
There's
the
a
other
reason.
shell?
Wow, that's
Yeah.
fucking legit. Of course, the
So
magic
that it
sigil is linked to Siegfried's intimidation of the creature, as a side note. But
Yep.
you can literally talk to it, yes. What do you say?
Yes. I say, I'm going towards one of the other shells. I will not bother you, and you should get some more.
Okay.
Got it.
You hear really loud in your head, and it sort of backs down away into its own shell.
That this guy's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. You can go ahead and proceed. You're able to gather some slightly slimy scraps of leftover meats. You see one of the eyes actually is left over from the creature as well. The beaks as well. It did not eat the beaks. So the beaks and one of the eyes is attached to the segment of meat attached to the beak that it did not eat. Zen, as a side note, the beaks, the upper beak has 2 teeth and the lower beak has 3 teeth. Those could maybe make for some kind of either gauntlets or like maybe a helmet for a smaller creature.
Does it seem to be like a high quality material or
Not particularly high quality.
then he doesn't care.
Just hard and sharp.
Yeah, then he doesn't care.
It's bone. Or yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Shylvie?
Mm-hmm. Shylvie takes some of this meat, takes a teeny tiny piece of it and tosses it to the salamander, just as a little treat.
The salamander's gigantic tongue extends out, sticks onto it, and then slowly retreats back into its gigantic maw.
Yep. It's like a chunk of meat about the size of a chameleon.
Nice.
Or so.
Nice. I like how that's the size comparison you use. All right. Does Shylvie consume any?
Giant tongue is on giant tongue.
No,
so
I feel that.
chameleon.
Yeah, no, that's legit.
And Shylvie takes the rest of it down to see if it can't be cooked up in some manner.
Don't you just eat shit raw?
The beak
I can,
meat,
but it's easier to eat.
you cut off some strips around the beak meat, and you have the eye, but you're not sure what to do with it. Yeah, you might be able to make some jerky out of this, maybe. It's cephalopod meat, so it's not exactly... It's a lot of water.
It's chewy.
It's
Could
chewy.
make a good broth.
Could be good for broth, or could be good for kind of a calamari if you fry it up kind of style. You got some options there.
Yep.
It could be pretty tasty, honestly. If you decide to start cooking it up, there is a little cook spot on the ship that you can go ahead and if you take some oil and you just
to cook it.
Yeah.
She's going to cook it into some broth.
Nice. All right, so
Like
you're making
boil it down.
You're making some Leviathan soup.
Leviathan soup.
That's lit.
Mm-hmm.
So you can add a pot of Leviathan broth to your inventory if you'd like, unless you will just be eating that.
Yeah, she's just gonna eat that for
Great.
dinner that
You
night.
can go ahead and roll either straight in. What would this be? Intelligence, sleight of hand, or make an intelligence check and then a survival check.
All right.
Or how about this? A perception check and then a survival check.
Oh well, I crit on the intelligence check.
Okay, well, so we'll just go with that then, since it was so good. All right, yeah. So you're able to kind of theory craft the best way to cook this. You've had squid before. And you get the feeling this is going to be similar, but maybe has to cook a little bit longer due to the thickness of the meat. So you kind of are able to kind of reduce a broth down to a sort of like almost a chowdery kind of meal. There's a couple potatoes that you're able to toss in there. There's a couple carrots left over that the crew haven't eaten yet. You're able to toss some of that in there, and you're able to make yourself a pretty nice sort of pentapedal mini lev chowder.
Yep.
Chowder.
Shylvie,
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, Shylvie writes down that recipe.
Sure, and I will make note of that as well.
Jesus Christ. Kitchen mama over here.
You're able to. There's a little bit of milk that's stored that you're able to do, and it's not gone bad yet. Yeah. Pentapedal mini lev chowder. All right, so everybody gets a long rest.
Cool. Alright, so I'm back at full health, and so is Halo. Awesome.
Amazing. Pentapedal mini lev chowder.
Chowder.
God. That
So
fucking
for-
that's a recipe.
A long rest, do I get one rage back or just all of them?
All of them.
All of them. Yeah.
I think you get all of them back with just a short rest. Isn't that how that works?
It's a long rest.
Yeah.
All right. I believe with that, we're gonna say the next day. I'll just roll a percentile die. Passes by relatively uneventfully. Yeah. You all wake up in the morning. The shoreline that you need to reach at this point is in sight. And that is where we are going to, I believe, end tonight's session, unless anybody wants to discuss any planning, any preemptive actions that they would like to take, any observations of the shoreline they would like to make, as anchor is set just off the shore, and some lifeboats are set, or some rowboats are set down to send the shore crew, which is you guys and Captain Sebastian, to the shore.
How
Captain
far?
Sebastian looks apprehensive to get off the boat, but he concedes the point that he
bet
is
he
technically the captain of this squad.
Do we know how far it will be to get there? Like how long it'll take us to get there?
What you were able to glean from Captain Sydney, and I mean actually Captain Sydney this time, it's not too far in, but it's a little tough to get to. And he had trouble explaining how hard it was to get there, but if you know about it and you keep heading towards the deeper into the forest, you will get there, he said.
How many hours?
He said that when he exited with his crew, it had taken him about 3 hours to get in and get out. Okay. Not long, but it was hard. And that is
Sebastian by the edge of the boat?
No, not really, not anymore. We're kind of like, you guys you've weighed anchor, and you are like 60, 70 feet offshore of the, I don't know how distance works with boats and stuff, so you're 60, 70 feet offshore of the southern shore of the Northern Isle. You know that if you head into the forest line, in the tree line, you could see like 80, 90 feet in from the beach, and then the rocky kind of shoreline that actually is on this segment of the island. Yeah, there's less cliffs on this side of the island and a little bit more of the... Let me double check that I'm not BSing right now. Yes, there was a little bit more of a beach to this sort of end of the island that kind of goes out into the peninsula, and then you can it's like 80 and 90 feet out into the tree line. So yeah, that's what you all are able to see.
Before we get off the boat, I want to do a perception check for the shore and the water around us.
All right, go ahead and make a perception check.
I believe that's a +5. So sorry, what was the first one? It was a what in a perception check?
No, I just said a perception check.
Oh, my mistake. 22.
22. In the seas around you, you're able to see various kind of small fish swimming around. Nothing particularly notable. On the shoreline, you see a couple of crabs. It's low tide right now. You see a couple of crabs kind of scampering around amongst the rocks and the sand, sort of picking out snails and various smaller creatures from the shoreline. You see off in the distance some bird-like shapes, accompanied by several smaller bird-like shapes, like off to the sea a little bit, almost on the opposite coast that you think, or not opposite because you're near the bottom, but like a few miles away, you see a couple of bird-like shape followed by several smaller bird-like shapes. And you hear the distant
There's dire gulls.
followed by a quack, quack, quack kind of noise off in the distance. It's awful. But that is quite far off, and you're not sure if, it is, seeing you or anything, or if it's even going to bother you. Like I said, you just see the one big one and the small swarm of other smaller gulls around it. And that's like I said, a few miles off. It's not. They seem to be distracted by something right now.
Okay. Well, as soon as I get on shore, I'm going to say the command word and summon the onyx dog.
Okay, and I think that's, unless somebody else wants to do something, that's a good place to end this session.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget that, because I felt like that was important. Oh, is the salamander coming with us? That's important too.
You see Siegfried currently on the back of the giant salamander as it slinks off the side of the ship into the water and follows the rowboat.
I mean, would you rather have it stay on the ship with the...
I would rather not.
You would come back to a no ship and a yes lizard.
Yeah, so salamander's coming with. All right.
Okay, so Zen hears a dire gull a few miles off and summons the onyx dog. The destination of the crew, theoretically, lies an hour and a half directly into the woods. Directly into the woods surrounding our directly through the tree line into the forest.
Don't forget to attune to that Shylv.
The Shylvie, don't forget to edit your max HP if you're giving away the Amulet of Health.
Yep.
Zen, same thing, but the
She
opposite.
does.
Yep.
Yep. Oh yeah, one other thing that I probably should have mentioned is that Shylvie lets Zen hold on to the...
I can't use the stone right now.
Yeah, then fair point.
Yep, yeah, that's why I said you should attune to it.
Directly into the forest.
My constitution is back to 15. And my hit point maximum drops by 10.
And mine goes up by 15.
Huh, no, it goes up by 10. Oh, you only have +1 to con.
Rip.
Yeah.
but also rap, because that's good stuff. All right, so this was a nice, quick little extra session that we ended up doing, just to kind of conclude our battle and sort of set up the big setup for next session, which I am very excited for. You guys, hopefully you'll reach the elementalist's hut. If not, then maybe we'll see what happens through the forest. Hopefully we will reach the elementalist's hut next session, and then depending on how things go, we'll either work on that or we will start up again next session. That's my theory anyways. That's the plan. I am very excited for next session, y'all. Do any of y'all have some final parting words?
Nope. Just a thank you.
We got another person joining the fish hater squad. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
All right.
Let's hope we don't die.
Yeah, as always, let's hope you all don't die.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.